Hi everybody, welcome back. This is Janet Wright, and this is going to be an energy healing walkthrough video where I walk you through a healing process where you actually do direct healing on your top creative ring. So we all have 3 gold creative rings above our spirit body head, your astral body head, 1, 2, 3, and they're pretty much in the first layer and the second layer of your aura. And they help with, they generate gold energy, they send it down to your 7th chakra, and they help with creative inspiration. Also helping with just feeling very clear-headed, waking up easily, because you have to travel through them to get into your body and get fully present. So if they're nice and properly functioning and the energy flows well, then you can bring all your energy in through them really easily. So creative rings are very useful for that, but lately the angels have been teaching me a special way to heal that top creative ring that not only helps the other 2 creative rings, but it helps all your chakras in a really fun way. So I'm excited to teach it to you. It helps with non-resistance, which is why it's a part of this triplet group energy healing set in July 2019 on non-resistance. But it helps with really quickly and efficiently melting energy cords going into all your chakras. And so therefore it helps with energy boundaries and unblocking the chakras, because a lot of times energy cords going into the chakras is part of what's keeping the chakras blocked. So, so I'm excited to walk you through this. Okay, so first we're just going to do the minute of grounding and repairing the aura really quickly, just to get you ready. Okay, so think of your grounding. Grounding is not, like everybody's grounding on the planet is not as wide as their aura, but I suggest that you create it that way with your intention, because I think it works way better. Like if I look at people with, you know, skinny grounding versus a wide flowing grounding that's as wide as the whole aura, it's really different as far as how that person can handle stress and be present. So go ahead and create a grounding that's as wide as your whole aura, and you know, in front, back, sides, everything. Red or orange or yellow, just create it with your mind. And ideally I have it looks to me like it's best if it comes as high as your 3rd chakra, because that just gives you extra support to your lower chakras. So you have this giant red or orange or yellow waterfall that goes all the way down to the center of the earth, and it's wide, it's flowing, and it comes up this high as your 3rd chakra, which on me is right there, right below the camera. Okay, so big red or orange or yellow grounding, make it wide, make it flowing all the way down, staying wide all the way down to the core of the earth. And I like to make a copy out in front of me of the grounding, so I would suggest you do that too. Just make a copy of your grounding out in front of you. Obviously it has to be miniature for you to be able to comb through the whole thing, but just comb through it with your hands, and your hands can generate gold light from your hand chakras and your fingertip chakras. So just use that gold light to wash out your grounding and wash out any blocks. Energy blocks are just hard pieces of energy that are not flowing, and therefore they're in the way. So this is unblocking the grounding, right? You just imagine where the hard pieces are, and or see them, or imagine, or think, or use your intention. Same difference, it all works. So you just imagine where the hard chunks are and let go, relax, and melt them away. Chances are somewhere there's a little bit of blocked energy. A lot of times it's in the core innermost part of it, so like the center part of it. So even if your grounding goes out this wide, the centermost part, that's the part that's directly under all your chakras. So maybe you missed some blockages there, so just double check, you know, the front, the back, the sides, and definitely the center part. And again, relax as you're doing this, deep breaths. You have to let go. If you're like, I'm trying to clear everything, it's gonna take 10 times longer, okay? So we don't want that. We got things to do today. So, all right, so that's unblocking your grounding. Now repairing your aura, right? You want your aura to be a nice big bubble all around you without rips and tears. No rips and tears. You want it to be whole, because that way your chakras get to fill it up with your energy, and it's this great flowing, protective, positive energy, you know, all around you, right? So we got to check to see, because, you know, life is not always filled with gentle people, and we need to check to see if we have any rips in our aura so we can heal them. Okay, so just imagine, just like you imagined a copy of your grounding, imagine a copy of your energy bubble, your aura all around you. Imagine a little version of that right in front of you, just so you can comb through it. And with your intention, your imagination, just find any rips or tears, rips that you may have in your aura, and just wash those out with gold light. And as you wash them out, they get healed. And they grow back. Your aura just starts growing back. And if it's not growing back well, it could be there are a couple beings in the way, so you can make vacuum boxes, just like little three-dimensional boxes that suck up energy, and then your angels get rid of the boxes and recycle what's in them. So you can just make a whole bunch of vacuum boxes around your aura, around your grounding, around your chakras, you know, doesn't matter how many, just a bunch, you know, and then just turn them on all at once and relax and let the vacuum boxes suck up any beings that are in your space. And make a couple vacuum boxes above your head too, and turn those on. And then I like to have the vacuum boxes kind of ring or ding, 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 ding when they're full. So then just ask your angels, can you recycle all my vacuum boxes? Okay, great. So now finish up healing your aura and repairing it. That should help for the aura to heal faster now without those beings in the way. You may have a stack of energy blocks right above your head, or right above the top of your aura, or in the back above the top of your aura. So you can just check all those areas, melt those above your head, energy blocks above your head, energy blocks above the top of your aura, energy blocks in the back above the top of your aura. Just imagine if there are stacks of energy blocks, like a stack of books. You just want to run lots of gold light through them and relax, relax, let them melt. All right, good. Okay, great. So now, and real quickly, redo your gold energy aura buffer zones. If you don't know what those are, just make a note, maybe on a piece of paper or your meditation journal that you may have with you, which is just a book you write things in. Gold energy aura buffer zones. If you haven't watched that video ever, it's really nice for energy self-defense. It's a simple technique and also teaches aura repair. Gold energy aura buffer zones. It's an 18-minute video. Gold energy aura buffer zones. Okay, so just redo your gold energy aura buffer zones. If you don't know how, just ask your angels to redo them for you. Just say, angels, can you redo my gold energy aura buffer zones? And they know what they are. Okay. So now, your creative rings. So like I said, there are 3 gold rings. They actually come and go with you. You're a spirit, right? So they come and go with you. So like if you're asleep, if your body's asleep at night in bed, your spirit is actually off on the astral, hopefully working with your angels and, you know, playing around and resting and getting healings, all sorts of good stuff. So your creative rings are a part of your astral body, your spirit body, a part of you, right? But as soon as you even start coming into your physical body, enough of you gets in, your rings are right above your physical head then, and then the rest of you comes in through those rings. So I guess that's part of why they're so significant in this technique. So I'm not going to overanalyze it. I could, but I won't. So anyway, so there are 3 gold rings, right? 1, 2, 3, and they're just right above your head. So 1, 2, 3. Like I said, they're roughly in the first layer and the second layer of your aura. 1, 2, 3. And so what we want to do is just heal the top one, and that's going to heal all of them. And like I said, we're healing it in a special way. So you just imagine a big copy of it out in front of you. I mean, a creative ring is actually kind of big as it is. But I like to make it even bigger, just to make the copy even bigger, just to kind of see it more easily, see what you're doing more easily. So the idea is we don't want cords going into this top creative ring, because if there are cords going into the top one, then it affects everything else quite a bit, right? So we're going to just heal this top creative ring, right? The one that's the uppermost one of the 3, 1, 2, 3, right? So you on the top, you just make a copy of just the top one for now. And first what we're going to do is generally people have some beings cording that top creative ring. So a being is just a spirit like you and me, but generally in this case, it's not going to be like a human being spirit, like a person, like your brother or your sister. We'll deal with them in step 2. But step 1 is just little beings, like little spirits that are invasive. They're not helping anybody, you know, they're not like angels or cute little garden fairies or anything, you know, they're just invasive beings. So we don't want that happening. We don't want you getting needlessly stressed by beings cording your top creative ring or any of your chakras, right? So with this technique, you just help your top creative ring, and then there's this really super cool ripple effect, and everything else is helped, okay? So don't worry, you're not gonna have to do this whole process with every chakra and every creative ring manually during this video. We're just gonna do it with the top creative ring, and then whoosh, it all happens with the rest. So very cool. All right, so, but anyway, so you imagine your top creative ring, and there would be pairs of cords going into it. If it's beings, typically they're just coming in from above. So like a being might be, you know, a little invasive spirit might be floating way above your aura, you know, up here above the top of your aura somewhere, like say here, you know, and you know, whatever, it is what it is, you know, it's not that freaky. And so it's just this little pair of cords that go to your top creative ring. So we could melt those cords real easily with gold light, but then that being's still up there, and he may try to cord you like an hour later, 2 hours later. So that's not very time efficient, right? You don't have all day to be playing games with silly little beings that, you know, keep trying to cord you, right? So it's a lot easier. I mean, these are invasive spirits. They're not helping anybody. So if you ask your angels to recycle them, you know, it's your angel's decision, you know, which is nice, because I think that's a more humble way to go about it. You're saying, well, hey, angels, you guys know the big picture better than me. So if you feel that these spirits have no positive use and they should be recycled, then please do that for me, right? So that's essentially what we're asking. So we're gonna be efficient and think of intuitively like, okay, well, how many spirits are trying that? How many of these, you know, invasive spirits, not like your brother and sister, just, you know, invasive spirits, how many are there that are doing that? They're trying to cord your top creative ring. And, you know, just guesstimate the number, and then just, because when you guesstimate, it's when you guess, basically that's using your intuition. So it's actually more accurate than you may think, you know? So, or just, you know, if you're more confident, then you would call it your intuition, right? So intuit how many beings are that are currently cording your top creative ring. So for me, there's about 14. So just, you know, like it's like little pom-poms up here, you know, like little teeny little spirits way above my aura, you know. So I'm just gonna ask my angels, can you please recycle those 14 spirits that are, you know, being invasive? And then it's my angel's call, which I feel like is totally good karma, because, you know, if it's best for the universe, that's what the angels will do. If it's not best for the universe, that's not what the angels will do. So my karma is really good with that, right? So I asked my angels that, and you can ask your angels. And if you don't feel comfortable saying, okay, well, there are 14 or there are 10 or there are 20, that's okay too. Because it's just that because I'm more advanced, I've been meditating more, I do a lot more consciously, my angels kind of push me and they're like, Janet, how many are there? Because they always want me to be a better and better reader. But if you feel like you're not at that level where your angels are gonna want you to say how many, then just say, angels, can you please recycle any invasive spirits that are courting my top creative ring? You know, and that's enough. You just say that. Angels, can you please recycle any spirits that are courting my top creative ring? And that way, any of these, you know, little beings that don't have bodies, you know, your angels just recycled. Okay, so what that does is that melts the cord going to the being also. So you don't have to worry about those cords, right? So that helped. Right? And so now what you can do is you just kind of notice how your creative rings are after that. Just that one, sorry, your top creative ring. Just notice it. Basically, like, I used to think that the cords go in right in the top of the creative ring, but they actually go into the side surface. So like, I don't have a model of a ring really. I'm going to use a banana. So I have a bunch of bananas. So like, okay, so say like this is a creative ring, right? This set of bananas. Right? So I used to think that the creative ring went into, I'm sorry, that the cord went in the top of the creative ring, but it actually goes in the side. So it's like a pair of cords, like one little being up here, cords with a pair of cords typically going into opposite sides of the creative ring. So it could be like here and here, or here and here. So anyway, you just got rid of a whole bunch of cords because your angels recycled all those invasive spirits, which is nice. So just that top creative ring that I'm representing by a bunch of bananas. I wonder if they're gonna balance. They're not gonna balance. All right, I'll have to represent it with 2 bananas instead of 3. But it's really a circular ring. But anyway, so go ahead and heal the top creative ring. Lots of gold light. Use the copy out in front of you. There's lots of gold light, and go ahead and heal it, okay? And so the cords, they went into these little flaps. They're like little tiny, you know, door flaps, right? That open, and that allows the cord to go in. So if you heal the creative ring enough, all the flaps like seal shut, which is very nice. Not like seal shut, like they're glued shut, but like just, you know, they naturally close and they're flush with the surface of the ring, right? So, but while your creative rings are like a little irritated, say there's still some cords going in, or there's some blocked energy kind of blocking up the little flaps, then they're not like nice and flush and closed and sealed up, okay? So we helped a little bit already, right? Because we got rid of the invasive beings with angel help. But now step 2 is the people, cords to people. And you can make another note in your meditation journal or a piece of paper out in front of you. If you missed a video that came out maybe a month ago called Resolving Boundary and Conflict Issues. Resolving Conflict and Boundary Issues, that's what it was. Resolving Conflict and Boundary Issues. But that's a really good video. So if you have people in your life that typically cord you regularly, if you use that video with them on a spirit level, it helps them to be a lot healthier and move on and stop courting you so much. So that's really great. So for example, for me, it has helped me to not have really the same people courting me all the time. So if you have been using that video too, or you start using that video with the invasive people in your life, or the people you have boundary issues with in your life, you really won't have many people trying to court your top creative ring. You may have a few here and there, you know, and so then you can make a note. If you know it's always the same person, make a note and do that conflict resolution, you know, resolve conflict and boundary issues video, so that won't be an issue anymore. Okay, but anyway, long story short, you may have a few people, you know, just because of some fluke, you know, they're a little triggered or whatever subconsciously. So you have a couple people courting your top creative ring, right? Represented here by 2 bananas. So anyway, we want to melt those cords, right? We can't recycle people. We don't want to recycle people, you know. They can live their life, right? And if you use that resolving conflict and boundary issues video, they can live their life without bugging you really a lot more. But anyway, at this point, we're just gonna melt the cords from those people. Okay, so just imagine any cords that are coming into this top creative ring only from people, right? And I like to know the number, but if you're not that advanced, don't worry about the number. For me, there's about 3 people. Because like I said, my typical boundary issue people, they don't court me anymore. Hardly at all. And if they do, then I do that resolving conflict and boundary issues video again, and then they don't court me for another month. So, yay. But anyway, so I do have 3, which is good in a way because I want to demo with you and do it with you guys. Okay, so you just melt away. So 3 people courting you means 3 sets of cords. So 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, whatever, right? So you just imagine it's like there's strings going into from above typically into the sides here. So you just lots of cold light and melt them. Melt the cords. Okay, done. Okay, easy peasy. And if that was hard and you feel the cords are still there, you could pause the video, do a little more for a moment, or just ask your angels. Angels, can you help me melt these cords? Maybe you're just too resistant right now, so it's not melting really fast. But anyway, just gold light should melt those cords from people, okay? And then, a lot of times now, all the flaps are nice and flush with the banana, with the creative ring. And so it's sealed up pretty much really nicely, all these little flaps. But if they're not quite sealed up yet, they may not be. And that could be just because there's just excess energy maybe that's left over from those cords and the people sending energy with the cords, or the being sending energy with the cords. Maybe there's just a little bit of energy kind of gumming up all the flaps so they're not nice and closed flat with the surface, right? So we're just gonna use extra gold light and wash out anything that is holding these flaps open, because we want them just to be nice and unblocked so they can relax and close and be flush with the surface of the creative ring. Because that way it's just A, the creative ring works a lot better, and B, it's a lot harder for people to cord you that way because the flaps are sealed, so they can't really get the cord in. So just extra gold light there, and chances are what's happening now is that they're almost all sealed, maybe if this is the first time you're ever doing it, but if it's not the first time you're ever doing it, chances are they're all sealed and nice and flush right now with the surface, this outer surface of your creative ring. And again, if you need help, just say, angels, can you help me do this? Angels, can you help me do this? And they see what you're doing. They know what you're trying to do. So just say angels, be sure to say angels, so your personal angels hear you, and they help you. Okay, so great. So what happens then is this really cool thing, and it may have just already happened with you and you don't know what it was, but it's a good thing. So when these close up like that and they seal these flaps, then all the other flaps seal, because that top ring is so significant. it kind of sets the tone for everything beneath it. So as the flaps all seal up for that top ring, they seal up for the other 2 rings and all your chakras. So it's like, it all happens really fast. Super, super cool. So anyway, so your top ring sealed up, and then all the flaps sealed up, and then it just happens automatically. It goes down all your chakras, and they all seal, which is really, really, really nice. So that makes it easy for all the cords to just, you know, you let go of all the cords. And they just fall away. It does help that we did vacuum boxes right before this. So then we get some beings out of the way, you know, that might have been around your chakras, so they can't, you know, get in the way of all that happening. And then step 4, because step 1 was recycle all the beings, right? And then step 2 was melt the cords to people. Step 3 was unblock the flaps, right? So they seal really nicely at the top ring, and that's really enough to start that ripple effect happening where all the flaps seal up in the other creative rings and then all the chakras. In a chakra, it's the same thing, except, you know, a creative ring is like this, right? And your 7th chakra is like that too, round opening at the top and then round opening at the bottom of your creative ring. I'm sorry, at the bottom of your 7th chakra. But then the 6th chakra, 5th, 4, 3, 2, 1, they're oriented differently. They're oriented this way, right? Energy flows in the front, out the back. So the flaps are around the outer surface of the chakra, right here, right here, right here, right here. So in the front and the back. So they all seal. So anyway, so then real quickly, let's just do gold light to balance the 3 creative rings. So because we gave extra healing to that top ring, and that was great, because then it started that really good ripple effect where all the flaps sealed everywhere. But generally your top ring now will be bigger and stronger than the lower 2, just because you gave it all that extra healing. So we just want to catch up the other 2 that are below it, your other 2 creative rings, so they're roughly all the same size. So just gold light for the other 2 creative rings. So now you're imagining all 3 creative rings out in front of you, and just notice if there's a size difference between the top one and the lower 2. And now just heal up those lower 2 ones, just give them lots of gold light so they can get stronger and expand more, just so all 3 are kind of balanced. You know, we don't want you to be top heavy. I don't want your bananas to be top heavy. So, that shouldn't take too long. If it takes too long, just ask your angels to help you. Maybe you're trying too hard. Okay, great. So, and when you're done using the copy, just explode it, because what it did as you're healing your copy, it heals the actual creative rings. I'm going to take a sip of herbal tea. Okay. So anyway, you did step 4 to balance all your 3 creative rings. All your chakra flaps auto-sealed, your creative ring flaps auto-sealed. And so I guess now just check your chakras. This is just optional and fun, you know, so you can kind of notice. Okay, like all my chakras, and just notice, because what's different now is all the flaps are closed, like all the little doorways that go around the opening of the chakra, they're all sealed. So that's good. So right now there are no cords going in to your creative rings or any of your chakras. It doesn't mean that your chakras are now perfect. I mean, there still could be slight bits of damage to a chakra that isn't healed by that process. There could be blockages because you have just energy blocks, but you don't have cords in the way of clearing those energy blocks anymore. So we could just do a quick healing of all your chakras. Just imagine 7 physical body chakras, 7 astral body chakras. And so that would just be like these round cylinders out in front of you. So the 7th is oriented this way, round opening at the top, round opening at the bottom, but then 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 are this way. And if that's too much to visualize all that, because I don't even really, I'm not like visualizing, okay, purple, blue, blue, blah, 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 blah. I'm just with my intention. It's like 7 chakras, 7 chakras, you know, body chakras, spirit chakras, you know, 7, 7, and just gold light. And with your intention, just unblock them all, right? Because removing the cords, which is what we did by sealing all these flaps, that's really good. So now it should be a little easier to unblock the chakras. And it should be a little easier to repair all the chakras. So what we can do, which I also did in the healing, is I did repair work on the chakras. But we're going to do a little more repair work after we do the next step as well, which is the next video, which is healing and clearing your 50-foot non-resistance zone. A 50-foot non-resistance zone. So after that process, at the end of that video, we'll also do some chakra repair because it'll be even cooler to do it then also, but we'll do a little now. So just imagine all these chakras and any little defects, you can just let them be healed. Gold light and any repair that needs to happen right now that's healthy and gentle for you to do right now, just let it happen with the gold light. So you're letting yourself repair all your chakras. Gold light, whatever's healthy and gentle for you to do right now. Let them repair, let them unblock. You already melted the cords. You can just double check about that. And then every time I like to, when I imagine them separate, sometimes that does make you slightly separate. Just with me just now, it didn't. But just in case, go ahead and imagine them all together, because that's really, when you're fully present, all your spirit chakras fit inside all your physical chakras. So just imagine them all together. So there's still, now you only see them like 7 chakras, because the spirit ones fit inside the body ones. I just unblock them and kind of harmonize them, because that's a big shift. You just, you know, to have all those flaps sealed, that's a big deal. So are they sealed for life? I wish. But, you know, life is triggering, things happen, you know, so no, they're not sealed for life. So, but when you, now that you know this process of, you know, working the top creative ring, and then, you know, everything auto seals after that, all the flaps kind of auto seal after you just do that top creative ring, then you'll be able to do that quickly on your own. You know, maybe once a day, twice a day. It shouldn't be necessary more than twice a day, I don't think. If it is, maybe put under the video, you know, what's wrong. I think I have to do it more than twice a day. You know, but if you have any questions, you know, of like, did this work? Did I do it right? Whatever, post under the video, no problem. It helps the video anyway. I mean, you know, eventually if I get too many questions someday, you know, maybe I'll let you know, but I don't get too many questions. So feel free to post, you know, hey, did this work? If you're doubting, or if you know it worked and you're just like, yeah, this is so cool, please put that under too. Give the video a thumbs up if you want other people to see it. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna do in the next video, which is work with your 50-foot non-resistance zone that is all around the outside of your aura for 50 feet in all directions. And I'll explain that to you in the video. So here we go, I can't wait to teach you. And that one is less technical actually than this video. So if you thought this one kind of blew your mind and how technical it was, then you'll like the next video even more. Okay, I don't know that I'll be using bananas in the next one though. But it'll be a fun video anyway. Okay, see you there. Bye!